Hello and welcome back here to Stocksfield Cricket Club, Tynedale, now 180 for 8 in the 39th over. And it's Wood about to bowl, right arm over the wicket, and he's bowled there, and that's Renton in for Tynedale, who just defends that one back down the pitch, and there's no run. So Paul Newton's with him. Renton's 12 not out, he's hit a couple of good fours, a nice hook shot, and Newton has just gone to the wicket, and he's 1 not out at the moment. So the wickets that have fallen since you were last with us: Sam Peter was bowled by Wood, and then he got a nice 37. Colin McCabe 55. He was caught a deep square leg, and Matty Scott was out as well, and then Richard Bailey was bowled too. And the wickets since then have fallen at 162, 163, 179. But Denithi's on bowling again now, and he bowls to Newton outside his off stump, and it goes through to the wicketkeeper, and there's no run there. And the sun's still beating down here. The wind keeps dropping, so if you do hear a gust over the microphone, don't worry, we'll be back with you if it cuts you out for just a little bit. Here on the Cricket West Tyne programme on Spreaker Internet Radio. But here's Denithi, 4 wickets to his name this afternoon, right arm over the wicket, bowling to Newton. It goes forward, and that strikes. He went forward, bat and pad together then, the ball popped up, but there's no close fielders at the minute. We've got a fine leg, a third man, we've got a gully, a deep point, a square leg, a deep cover, an extra cover, a deep mid off and a deep mid on. So here's Newton again now to face from Denithi. Past umpire Ainsley comes and bowls, and that's turned away up towards final leg, where it'll be fielded now, and Newton goes through for a single towards the school out to the left there. And there's 1 to the total, 181 for 8. Newton moves to 2, and that brings Renton back on to strike, Josh Renton. And his highest score of the season so far with his 12. And he just sets himself now. That man, Tristram Douglas, just forward to square leg, he's out there, and that's a nice shot from Renton, but it goes straight to point there and down the little slope on the far side. We can't see Point's feet from here. He's fielding on the railway side. We're right opposite the railway on the other side of the field, broadcasting at the main road side here at Stocksfield, right down behind deep square leg for the right-handed Renton. So Denithi runs in, a nice compact run up to the wicket. He bowls to Renton, who's forward to a full ball, and again just jams the bat down on it, and it goes square there. And there's a shot at the stumps from Point, but the ball whistles past, and everybody's, as you were, safe enough there. So we're a good 80 yards from the crease, broadcasting this afternoon. The 2 umpires, umpire Collins with his t-shirt on, and umpire Ainsley as well, both with their sun hats on as well, as Denithi now makes his way in again, bowling to Renton, and that's nicely played. Just got it wide of gully there, and it's racing up for 4 runs, is it? Will it go? No, that's Wood who stops it with his right boot down on the third man boundary, running round to his right, and they're looking for another one there, double player, but they haven't got it, so there was just 2 to the total there. And I think there was 2. No, there was just 1 to the total. Yes, and Newton. It was Renton who came to the non-strikers end for the next over. So just 1 to the total there at the end of the 40th over. 182 for 8 now, Tynedale. Paul Newton 2, and 13 to Josh Renton. So the next mark for Tynedale, their situation is the 200 mark for that batting point. That will be their 5th batting point. But we're going to have Wood again now to bowl. He's taken 3 wickets this afternoon. Deep, mid-off and mid-on, right on the edge of the circle. Bowls over the wicket, and he's bowled him. He's out. The off-stump leans back, and Renton is gone. Renton going forward there. It was a good length ball. Just, it was a mixture of slowness and flight through the air, pitched. Renton went forward, and He missed it, and the off stump leans back. The bails are off, so Tynedale now 182 for 9, and Renton has gone for 13. And Renton makes his way off towards us and slightly to our right across to the clubhouse. And Stocksfield, no doubt, will be pleased with this. They're down at the bottom of the table and chasing this on what could be conceived as a batting day. The bright sunshine here. As you've joined us on the 4 o'clock broadcast here on Cricket West Tyne, our second broadcast of the afternoon. And David Newton it is, who's just making his way up to the wicket now. He'll just get up there too. It's a long way for the batsman, the incoming and outgoing batsman, to walk in. Right-handed David Newton. He's up there at the crease now. He'll take his guard off the umpire, and there's going to be a short third man, a short fine leg, a deep square leg, a deep backward square leg, an orthodox point on the edge of the circle, extra cover, deep mid-off and deep mid-on, and a mid-wicket, and a deep mid-wicket on the far side there. Wood now first ball to David Newton. Loops one up and Newton's forward driving, but not very hard, and the ball runs out there to Archer, who picks up at extra cover. The ball's quickly back to Wood. And here he goes, about 8 paces he's run up to the wicket, right arm over the wicket, bowls, good length that time, and Newton goes to cut that time and plays and misses outside the off stump, and Wiley takes a nice stop there, standing up to the wicket, and there's no run. And here's Wood again now, bowling to David Newton. And Newton's forward to a well-pitched ball there on a length, and plays it off the stumps to the leg side this time, where it's picked up at short, close mid-wicket there, and there's no run. And here's Wood again, back to his mark. Trots up, moves in now to bowl to David Newton, who's forward again and defends just onto the offside, the nearest side to us here. Archer moves to his right to pick up, and there's no run. And he makes his way back to extra cover. Mid-off and mid-on have come up a bit. Here's Douglas again now. Twirls the arm over. Sweep shot attempted there, and the wicketkeeper's missed it down the leg side, but they're not going to get a bye here. And that's the end of the over. Umpire Collins just hands his cap back to Wood, who walks off down. No wickets in that over. Oh yeah, was it? Yes, it was Renton who went at the first, in the early stages of that over. 182 for 9. Now Tynedale, it's Paul Newton 2 and David Newton in at last man. He's not out at the moment, and it's going to be Paul Newton on strike, the right hander again. Wiley's just sorting his field out. And a gust of wind there brings umpire Ainsley into action just to stop the bails blown off, I think, at the school end across to our left. So it'll be James Denethy again, right arm over the wicket, running in, moving in now to bowl to Newton. Newton plays from the crease to a shortish ball that time, and it got up just above waist height, and he defends it into the ground, and it's fielded there at close extra cover. And there's no run. So got a fine leg, a third man, a gully, a deep point, a cover, a close extra cover, a deep mid-off, not quite as deep a mid-on, and a forward square leg. Here's Newton again, facing up to Denethy, who's in and bowls. It's full, and Newton plays this to leg. They're going to get a single here between mid-on and forward square leg there. It's picked up now, and it's Henderson there who fields and throws into the bowler's end, and they get a single. So that takes the score to 183 for 9 now. Paul Newton's moved to 3. 42nd over here, 8 to go after this one for Tynedale. And here's Denethy again, just about ready to bowl. Newton just sorts himself out, takes a guard off the umpire. Field hasn't changed. Here's Denethy now, moves in again. Over the wicket now, bowling to Newton, who plays and misses through to the wicket keeper. just short of a length there outside the off stump. Newton went forward, went for the drive. And the ball's back round on that offside now. And Denithy is just about to bowl again. Before today's match, Tynedale 5th in the table, 182 points. Stocksfield at the bottom there, 45. Denithy moves into Newton again. And that's on leg stump, and it's turned round by David Newton up towards fine leg. It's fielded now on this near side, thrown in. And there's 1 run to David Newton. He gets off the mark there with a nice leg glance. And the score goes to 184 for 9. Tynedale. Newton gets off the mark. Paul Newton back on to strike now. Here he comes. Here's Denithy. He just turns at the end of his mark. In he goes to bowl. Newton's forward and drives, but it just bounces up. Didn't time it at all there, and it bounced up and plopped down in front of short extra cover. So everything's safe enough for Newton at the moment. Umpire Collins just has a little twirl on the mark there, has a look back over his shoulder up towards the main road behind us here, and hands behind his back at the moment, as does umpire Ainsley. The cows in the field across the River Tyne there are lying down, taking advantage of the sunny weather. Here's Denithy in again. It's full and hit on the full, and there's a nice straight drive from Newton, and he'll get 4 for that one over to the school. A good shot there. And that takes the total to 188 at the end of the over, with 9 wickets down for Tynedale. David Newton is 1 not out, and Paul Newton has gone to 7 with that cracking shot at the end there. And he got that one away, so David Newton will take the strike at the end of the next over. Not much action going on in the countryside on the north side of the Tyne there, beyond the railway. The village of Ovington clinging up on the hillside away in the far distance in the top right from where we're looking. The other game going on down on the bottom wicket here. It's obviously they've been in for tea, and now they're away to set off again. But it's Wood to take up the attack now to David Newton. Full, and Newton pushes this back to the bowler. And I looked across before, and it was the black and white old style cap one of the cricketers was wearing, so I think it might be Newcastle. But Wood again moves into bowl to David Newton, who's back and tries to cut again, but it's a bit quick for him, beaten for pace that time. And while he takes the bails off, but everything quite safe. Umpire Ainsley just has a look there, slowly walks in, but he's happy to let Wiley, the wicketkeeper, just put the bails back on, and now he retreats back to his square leg mark as Wood moves in again now past umpire Collins. Bowling to Newton, who's forward in defence and pushes just to the offside. This time the ball rolls gently to mid-off there, and there's no run. And I've noticed from the cup game here a couple of weeks ago, as Wood is in again now and flights one, but it's on the full, hit by Newton, and he drives it across the ground, but it goes straight to Archer there at extra cover. The 2 side screens, they've changed ends. I think the littler one was across to the right the last time we were here. But here's Wood again moving in, a slow ball, and a sweep shot attempted there, but he missed it, but it's gone through for a bye this time. A leg bye, struck the pad. A leg bye signalled by umpire Collins up to the scorers, and that's 1 to the total, so that takes it to 189 for 9 wickets Tynedale. Now here's Wood again, back to the end of his mark. Here he comes now. A bit quicker this time, and he's out. Bowled him. Tried to turn it to the leg side that time, Newton, and it's got through him, and Paul Newton is out. He's gone for 7, and Tynedale have been bowled out here in the 43rd over for 189. Tynedale bowled out for 189. And Wood has taken 4 wickets this afternoon, as has Denithy, and Henderson took 1 as well. And there were the wickets that have fallen. 3 bowlers needed for the wickets for Stocksfield as the 2 Newton brothers make their way off. And just to recap there, Tynedale all out for 189. David Newton survives not out with 1. And quite rightly, the captain of Stocksfield there, Ben Archer, he claps leads the applause for the batsman going off, and no doubt he's got a little smile on his face as well, because they've bowled Tynedale out here for what one would seem a very gettable score of 190 to win the match on a glorious afternoon here. The two umpires were still out in the middle there. The applause there just for the Stocksfield fielders who go off. Thurwell brings up the tail there. He goes off, and all the players go for tea. And there we go. That's where we're at the moment. Tynedale all out for 189. And after in the 43rd over, Paul Newton, the last man out there, and David Newton left, one not out, stranded at the crease there. So the wickets fell at the first one fell at 26, then 28, 32, 80, 152, 162, 163 and 179, and then the last one there at 189. And the top scores of the Tynedale innings, Callum McCabe 55, Sam Peter 37, and they were the by quite a way the best that Tynedale could offer in their innings this afternoon here at Stocksfield. So there we go. That's where we leave it this afternoon for just now. We didn't get much on this second broadcast. Tynedale fail to complete their 50 overs. And we'll be back here on Spreaker Internet Radio on the Cricket West Tyne programme. There's no point keeping going, intruding on your afternoon any further, because there's absolutely nobody on the field at the moment except for a gent walking across towards the scoreboard there. But there we go. So we'll leave it to our next broadcast here on the Experts in Business and the Canton Brislan and the Royal Oak Hotel at Consey Colliery. Cricket commentaries here on Spreaker Internet Radio will be at 5 o'clock. I'll be back at 5 o'clock as Stocksfield take up the chase. But there we have it on a gorgeous sunny afternoon, just after Tynedale bowled out for 189 just about 10 past 4, just a few minutes to go in the 43rd over. So there we go. I shall speak to you again at 5 o'clock.